Listen to me carefully, because this one ruins more men than silence ever could. Confusion is not accidental. Confusion is not mixed signals. Confusion is not bad communication. Confusion is control. And the moment you start feeling unsure, unstable, questioning reality, doubting yourself, replaying conversations in your head, she already has the upper hand. Confusion is not chaos. Chaos is random. Confusion is designed. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It drips slowly into your mind until you can't tell what's real, what's promised, what's implied, and what's imagined. And while you're busy trying to figure it out, she's already moved ahead on the board. Let me be very clear. Attraction does not require confusion. Interest does not require guessing. Desire does not require decoding riddles. When confusion enters consistently, it's not romance, it's leverage. And most men never see it coming. It starts small. One day she's warm, the next she's distant. One day she says she wants you, the next she says she's not ready. One moment she pulls you close, the next she pushes you away. Her words say one thing, her actions say another. And you're stuck in the middle trying to connect dots that don't line up. That's the trap. Confusion forces you into reaction mode. You stop leading. You stop moving with certainty. You start waiting for clarity that never fully arrives. And the longer you wait, the more power shifts away from you. Because clarity is strength. And confusion is weakness. Not hers, yours. Here's the truth most men don't want to accept. A woman who is genuinely interested in you will not confuse you. She may move slow. She may set boundaries. But she will be clear. Clarity is respectful. Confusion is destabilizing. And destabilized men are easy to control. When she creates confusion, your mind starts working overtime. You analyze texts. You reread messages. You search for meaning in tone changes. You wonder if you're imagining things. You start asking yourself, am I overthinking? That question alone is proof the control has started. Because confident men don't live in maybe. They live in yes or no. Confusion keeps you suspended. And suspension keeps you compliant. Let me explain the psychology in raw terms. When you don't know where you stand, you hesitate. When you hesitate, you seek reassurance. When you seek reassurance, you give power away. That's the chain. She doesn't need to demand control. She lets uncertainty do the work. And here's the dangerous part. Confusion often feels like depth. Men mistake emotional instability for complexity. They think mystery equals intelligence. They think unpredictability equals passion. No, unpredictability equals insecurity, either hers or yours once you accept it. Real depth is calm. Real attraction is steady. Real interest does not leave you guessing. Confusion keeps you invested without commitment. It keeps you hopeful without security. It keeps you attached without authority. That's control. And the longer you stay inside confusion, the more your sense of self erodes. You stop trusting your instincts. You stop asserting boundaries. You stop calling things out because you're not sure anymore. And uncertainty kills decisiveness. Decisiveness is masculine power. A confused man does not lead. A confused man follows emotional signals. A confused man waits. And waiting is submission. Now understand this. Not all confusion is intentional. But repeated confusion that benefits one side always becomes intentional once it's noticed. If her mixed signals keep you around, if her unclear intentions keep you invested, if her inconsistency keeps you chasing clarity, then confusion is working. And behaviors that work get repeated. Here's the brutal truth. If she wanted to be clear, she would be. Adults who want something make it known. Ambiguity is a choice. Vagueness is a strategy. And confusion is the smokescreen that hides control. When she says things like, I don't know what I want. I like you, but I'm not sure. Let's just see where it goes. Those phrases are not neutral. They shift responsibility. They keep you emotionally available while freeing her from accountability. You stay invested. She stays unbound. That imbalance is control. And most men accept it because they're afraid to lose access. They think demanding clarity will push her away. They think standing firm will cost them the connection. But here's what they don't realize. Confusion already cost them their power. A man who accepts confusion is telling her, I will stay even if you don't respect my need for clarity. And respect never grows from that position. Now let me tell you something important. Confusion creates dependency because your mind seeks resolution. So when clarity is withheld, your brain keeps circling the same questions. What does she mean? Where do I stand? What should I do? And while your mind loops, your life stalls. That's the real damage. You lose focus, you lose drive, you lose certainty, all while telling yourself you're being patient. That's not patience, that's paralysis. Strong men do not live in emotional fog. They demand clarity through their standards, not their words. And this is key. You don't fight confusion by arguing. You fight it by refusing to live inside it. You don't interrogate. You don't push. You don't plead for answers. You observe. You decide. You act accordingly. When confusion shows up, your job is not to decode it. Your job is to ask one internal question. Does this align with the life and standards I want? If the answer is no, you step back. That step back is power. Because the moment you stop trying to understand confusion, it loses its grip. Confusion only controls men who chase clarity more than they protect their peace. Let me hit you with a hard reality. A woman who truly values you does not want you confused. She wants you confident. She wants you grounded. She wants you secure. Because secure men are safe. And safety is attractive. Confusion creates anxiety. Anxiety creates compliance. Compliance creates control. That's the latter. Now let's talk about how men respond incorrectly. Most men respond to confusion by trying to become better, more attentive, more available, more understanding. They think effort will create clarity. But effort without boundaries communicates desperation. And desperation invites manipulation. You don't earn clarity by pleasing someone. You earn clarity by being willing to walk away from confusion. That's the paradox. The man who can leave confusion is the man who regains control. The man who stays hoping for clarity loses it. This doesn't mean you threaten. This doesn't mean you issue ultimatums. This means you internally decide what you tolerate. Tolerance defines power. If you tolerate confusion, you teach her it's acceptable. If you don't, the dynamic changes immediately. Either she clarifies or she disappears. Both outcomes are wins. Because clarity or freedom are always better than control. Now here's something most men miss. Confusion often comes paired with just enough validation to keep you hooked. A compliment here, a warm moment there, just enough to reset your hope. That's not kindness. That's calibration. She gives just enough to keep you from leaving, but never enough to feel secure. That's control through uncertainty. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. A man who understands this no longer overreacts. He no longer chases meaning. He no longer tries to fix emotional fog. He recognizes patterns, and patterns dictate decisions. Let me be very direct. If you feel more anxious than inspired around her, if you feel unsure more than confident, if you feel like you're always adjusting, that's not love. That's leverage. And leverage exists only when you give it permission. Masculine strength is not loud. It's clear. A clear man does not tolerate unclear situations. A clear man does not stay where he is confused. A clear man values peace over potential. Potential is a trap. Clarity is reality. Now understand this. Some women create confusion because they themselves are confused. But that doesn't make it your responsibility to absorb it. You are not required to drown just because someone else can't swim. Empathy without boundaries becomes self-destruction, and self-destruction is not noble. Strong men help without sacrificing themselves. They love without losing clarity. They stay without surrendering control. Confusion demands emotional energy. Clarity frees it, and the more energy you reclaim, the stronger you become. Now let me say this in the clearest way possible. If she creates confusion and you stay, you are training yourself to live without certainty. You are lowering your standards. You are shrinking your expectations. And that shrinking will show up everywhere else in your life. Men who tolerate confusion tolerate disrespect. Men who tolerate disrespect lose authority. Men who lose authority lose attraction. It's a straight line. When she creates confusion, the correct response is not emotion. It's structure. Structure means you maintain your routines. Structure means you maintain your goals. Structure means you maintain your boundaries. You do not let her uncertainty infect your direction. Direction is power. A man with direction does not drift. A man who drifts gets controlled by currents. Confusion is a current. Clarity is an anchor. Anchor yourself. And here's the final truth. The moment you stop trying to figure her out, you start figuring yourself out. You realize what you want. You realize what you accept. You realize what you walk away from. And that realization is freedom. A man who cannot be confused cannot be controlled. A man who sees clearly cannot be manipulated. A man who values his peace over possibility becomes unshakable. So remember this rule. If she creates confusion, she is taking control. And the only way to take it back is to stop playing inside the fog. Step back, stand firm, stay clear. And if this message hit you, if it felt uncomfortable, if it exposed patterns you've lived through, then you already know this channel isn't here to comfort you. It's here to sharpen you. Hit the like button to mark that shift. Subscribe to the channel if you're done being confused, controlled, and drained. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next lesson. Stay disciplined, stay clear, and never let confusion replace your authority again.